there's no torque. All right, we're here to answer questions that YouTube decided to ask me about the F430 build and the fact that it's actually heading to SEMA. Now, contrary to popular belief, this is being filmed in the middle of September, and we are making excellent progress. Everything is coming together perfectly. There's no concerns, nothing is wrong, everything is fine. So, with that being said, the reason that we're gonna be filming this one is because we're waiting on a couple pieces, parts, and things, because it's taking a little bit longer than before. And of course, if you guys and gals don't know, this thing's heading to SEMA. We'd be really excited to see you there. If you are gonna be there, this will be at the AccuWear booth inside. It's gonna be awesome. Hopefully it makes it in one piece. And of course, if you're looking for aftermarket wheels, tires, or suspension, be sure to check it over at fitmentindustries.com. I'm Alex at F on Instagram, and let's get into some of the questions that you have asked. Okay, this is always the most important one. Aren't you afraid to get a nice letter from Ferrari on this build? So if you guys and gals don't know, Ferrari does really like to keep their Ferraris. They're not huge fans of modification, but they really aren't fans of any sort of change to their design work, their logos, their colorways, anything like that. They consider it defamation. And so with that being said, am I scared? Nah, not really. There's only like a couple things that I'm gonna need to be keeping an eye on to make sure I don't accidentally poke the bear. But for the most part, the integrity of the Ferrari logo has been maintained in the build. Even though it was spaghetti colored and completely thrashed, we have torn it apart, put it back together, have tried to maintain that look so that they don't get too upset. But there is a couple things that we're probably gonna need to change before we actually show you at SEMA, otherwise they probably will yell at us. Main Street Moose says, has the excitement of owning an exotic car worn off yet? Knowing what you know now, would you buy another Ferrari? I think the feeling of owning an exotic hasn't worn off. Driving it without anyone around maybe a little bit, but I would say like when there's like a kid that's like pointing, or they want to sit in the car at a gas station, or like I have neighborhood kids that always come check out the cars when I bring them home. Like that feeling is super cool, and that feeling has never ever worn off, because I think it's probably the reason that I would continue to own a supercar, is not maybe just inherently for me, but also for like the joy that it brings other people that love those cars, that have posters in their bedroom of that car. I think that's super cool. Would I buy another Ferrari? Yeah, I would probably buy another one. And I think the reason I would say that, now I know they're picky, I know they're kind of difficult, I know a lot of people don't have the nicest things to say about them as a company. They still do make some pretty incredible cars. Honestly, I think one of my dream cars, or a car that I would really like to own, would be a 458. I think that would kind of be the next one that I would buy. Eric says, what are some of the mods that you'll be doing for the show? How will you prepare yourself mentally and physically for the whole event? What are you looking forward to at the event? And are you only going to the show, or will you participate in some of the events? So, we've gone to SEMA now 4 years in a row. Actually, when FI was first started, that's how I made a lot of connections with brands out there to start the whole Fitment Industries thing. So I'm used to how much walking and all the preparation and all the stuff that you have to do to get the show ready. So I'm not worried about that. Getting the car there is actually pretty easy. We had custom offsets go in 2019, so we're kind of just copying the same thing. What I'm looking forward to at the event is I love meeting up with some of the ambassadors and influencers and companies again, just to be able to shake hands, say hi, kiss babies, throw babies, whatever it's called. And are you only going to the show? No. So we'll be doing the whole show. And then on Saturday and Sunday, we'll actually be meeting up with AccuWear, doing a film series on it, meeting up with Halcyon, doing a video series on it, doing some photography sets and things like that, maybe out in Red Rock Canyon. So we'll probably be busy the whole time. And then we'll be going to SEMA Ignited as well. And then we'll also be hosting a meet and greet, which is pretty cool. Dwight says, can you please put wood flooring in the trunk? No. The answer is no. The answer will always be no, Dwight, all right? I just want something different than wood for an air suspension setup. I would be willing, if we could do freshly mowed grass, like freshly, you know, like that sort of thing, and we made it so there was lines in it, because I really love mowing, that would actually be a cease and desist. That would be a cease and desist waiting to happen. Are you actually gonna drive it when it's done? Yes. I will. It is really loud, so I can't really bring it home on the weekdays because I get up really early. I usually get up at right around 5 o'clock in the morning and I leave by around 6-ish. So I can't bring it home during the weekdays because I don't want to wake up the neighbors and have them angry at me, which means I'm pretty much exclusively locked into driving it on the weekends. And then in addition to that, it stays here at the shop. It doesn't come home with me because I ran out of space because I have cars at home that took up all of my spaces because we bought another car that you're gonna see next month, actually. So there it is. Bruh goes wheels, a bunch sticker, and a lips. What a build. English, I love it. We're almost there, but there are a couple more pieces to it than that, which if you've been paying attention to the series since the beginning, there's been a little bit more. I mean, we have, yes, the side skirts. Yes, we have the wheels. Yes, we have the Michelin tires. Yes, we have the air suspension, but they're custom built struts. It's a custom built system to manage it. It's a whole different slew of suspension geometry that we had to work through specifically with the rear. We have the Air Emotions wing. We have exotic car gear coming on board with a complete revamped one-of-one steering wheel. We have a whole new center interior piece coming together. We have new carpet, new seats, new reupholstery coming from Paradise, the stitching company that we actually went through. That's gonna get it all done in 9 days because I begged him, please, to get it done as soon as humanly possible. We completely rebuilt the top end of this thing. We actually swapped out components off of the motor because they weren't really good pieces to have. I don't know why you'd have a cooler in between the intake and the actual, you know, pistons. But besides that, there's a little bit more going on than maybe just that. But hey, if it makes you feel better, then, you know, bruh, you've done it. You got me. Right, okay. Does owning a Ferrari fill the emptiness we all feel inside? No, no, no. What makes it stand out from other SEMA supercars? Nothing. There's some crazy people at SEMAs. The SEMA builds, there's some flack out there for people that do them wrong, but for the most part, there's some really incredible SEMA cars that make it out there every single year. There's a lot of fantastic cars out there. So it's not necessarily that it's a competition between, is this car gonna stand out from other cars? Because I don't really think it is. I hope that it meets the quality that everybody's come to expect from SEMA, which is high quality components, a high quality build, and a high quality car with good owners. I'm hoping to bring that to the table, but I'm not looking to be the best of the best because quite honestly, there's some really incredible builders out there that have cars that are way cooler than mine. How many cans of baked beans can it hold? It's a great question. Just wear flip-flops. I like my socks and sandals, and I don't like your attitude. Here's a good one. How does a normal person get a Ferrari? So I think this is like a common misconception that like all Ferraris are super duper expensive and all Ferraris are impossible to get. And that's actually not true. And I know it's gonna sound very hypocritical or angry, or people are gonna get upset that I even say this, but picking up an older Ferrari is now the same cost as picking up like a slightly modified new Supra. It's cheaper, if not the same cost as picking up a GTR. It's the same, if not cheaper, than picking up a Ferrari than picking up a Dodge Viper. The Ferraris in certain years and certain models have entered like a weird pricing range where you can actually pick them up for a pretty decent price. Now before, you know, 2020 came around, you could actually pick up a 430 for like $80,000. Now I know that again, that seems like a lot, but when you're actually looking at that price range of car, it's not bad, all things considered. Ferraris have the same depreciation curve as a lot of other exotics, and some of them have come down so much that you can pick up older Ferraris, 6-speed, you know, the fancy peanut butter interior for $50,000, $40,000. The issue comes down to maintenance and the fact that they are an absolute dog to maintain, and the fact that they really were never built well for garage builders. They were built from the factory, you bought it, you enjoyed it, it blew up, you bought a new Ferrari. Like that was the cycle for these types of cars. And it was only until like the 430, 458, you know, even the 360 maybe, where people started being able to get their hands inside of these cars and keep them alive for a longer period of time. But I think it is, you know, when you look to saying how does a normal person afford one, I think it's just coming down to maybe not the car plaque like Ferrari, but more just what sort of car are you looking to buy? If you're looking to buy a $50,000 car, you would be shocked at the amount of types of cars you can actually pick up at that price point. that aren't all just JDMs. They're not all just Japanese cars. There's a ton of British cars that you can pick up, a ton of DSMs that you can pick up, a ton of just great cars for the same exact price. And then the final question that somebody had was any engine mods. You know, outside of what we talked about before, it's got an engine cooler delete. We actually put that back to the rear. We took that off. We're doing an ECU tune. We are doing a couple other things. It's got a different intake. It's got a different exhaust. It's got different test pipes. It's got different headers. You know, outside of that, we're not going to be going in and changing it to like a forged setup. We're not going to be changing it to handle a higher compression. It's already pretty well dialed in from that component, so we really don't see anything needed to do that. It's sitting right around 510, 520 horsepower, which I think is just going to be plenty for this car. You know, in terms of it being a track vehicle, we'll let the other cars do that. But hey, we appreciate all of the questions and of course the angry people that just don't believe that you can do this. And the answer to that is you can do anything that you set your mind to. Just give it enough time, give it enough dedication, keep trying, keep hustling, and you'll figure it out. The internet's a crazy place. You can do whatever the f you want. It's 2021, are you kidding me? If you are looking for wheels, tires, and suspension though, be sure to check us out over at fitmentindustries.com. And if you haven't watched the series yet, be sure to check it out up here. And of course, feel free to stay tuned. We have every video coming out every single Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday noon Central Standard Time so that you can stay along for the ride with us. Of course, we will see you later. Peace.